Weekly Live here with you on a Tuesday. Mike Carver along with Doug Kezirian as we get you ready for all of tonight's action. We have the NBA Cup quarters on the Eastern Conference side. 2 games there. A lot of good college basketball. 10 games in the NHL. And we will, of course, start to look ahead to this weekend's college football and NFL. Well, not really this weekend's college football. I'm so used to saying that now, Doug. Actually, the bowl games in college football we will start to look ahead to, and some of this weekend's NFL. Doug, good to see you as always. Really fun Monday night game last night between the Eagles and the Chargers. If you like turnovers, overtime, you got a little bit of everything. Nice game from Jalen Hurts, I guess you could say.
Yeah, that's what happens when, you have one game, right, on and you roll the dice that it's going to be good, right? It's what we as fans, why we appreciate the epic ones because we know, I mean, it's breadcrumbing, right? That's what the NFL does to us, right? They breadcrumb because we savor with the NFL. There's nothing like betting it. And with the hope that we're going to get an epic game. And when we do, we savor it and we slog through a game like that because we know the potential of something, which is the breadcrumbing, the potential of a great game, or we still at least have fodder for the next couple of days that we can laugh about.
Certainly do with the NFL as we now hit week 15. We close the door 14 weeks in, and we will, of course, get to some action later as down the stretch we come. 4 games left for everybody here in the regular season. But let's kick Betting Weekly Live off tonight, Doug, with the NBA Cup. We have reached the knockout phase of the competition. You get the 2 games in the East tonight. You get the 2 games in the West tomorrow. And then the winners get to go to Vegas next week for the semis and then the finals. We will start in Orlando this evening between the Magic and the Heat. So right now, Magic at home -1, 1-point favorite, 235.5 is the total. I remember bringing this up to you on Friday, and that was that these teams played Friday night. And sure enough, Doug, what was it? A 1-point game, 106-105. The Magic beat the Heat.
Yeah, I'm still monitoring the injury reports here. There's a couple moving parts. We know Franz Wagner is out for a couple weeks for the Magic. So just when Paolo Banchero gets back, Wagner goes down, which is just brutal for a Magic team. Obviously, they made the big trade to bring in Desmond Bane in the offseason and then the high aspirations of improving their offense and their three-point shooting, which was obviously the Achilles heel in the first round series against the Celtics. This is a team that still has upside, but I just worry about them in this game. Again, Franz Wagner was very impactful for them, and the Heat are getting right. They had Wiggins has been down, Bam was down. Obviously, Hero missed the first month or so of the season. Norm Powell just missed a couple games. But it looks like full speed ahead tonight. And I don't get this line. I thought the Heat should be like 3-point favorites. Shows you what I know. Um, so I'm a little taken back. Miami feels like the right side. Now, Orlando will clamp down on D, but this Heat team, not that they've been clicking, because I think Hero did disrupt their offense in a lot of ways, but ultimately, I don't believe in the Magic. I believe in Banchero and Bane as a 1-2 combo, but then it's like Suggs, Wendell Carter. That's where the Heat get them. I think they have too many weapons offensively, and then even defensively. I think they can handle the attack of Orlando. So I like the Heat a lot.
Is the line maybe just recent form? Like you said, they're getting guys back, they're getting guys healthy, but they lost to the Kings and the Mavs, the last couple times out, along with that Orlando loss. So they haven't been, well, they've lost 3 in a row coming into this one.
Yeah, who knows, right? With the NBA, right?
Yeah.
Like they've lost 3 straight, to your point, right? But they've had guys in and out. I don't know. I mean, look, Spoelstra had his house burned down recently. Like, there's no
Right.
telling what the heck is going on. I would imagine that the cup gets their attention, and maybe I'm wrong. It's not my best bet though, so I do have apprehension. To your point,
Well, I will say this then also about this game, because I'm sure that I will bring this up about all 4 games that we'll have over the next 2 nights. This is a 235.5 total. There's money and a flight to Vegas on the line. These teams were way under 235.5 on Friday night. Under?
Yeah, so when I saw the matchup, I'm glad you asked because I meant to discuss this. So when I saw the matchup, I don't know, a day and a half advance, I'm thinking under, under, under. But I was also assuming the Heat would be short faves. And so I'm torn. I do like the under as well. So that's a good point. I'm glad you brought that up. I I I guess we should go back and check last year's quarter. Remember, all the semifinals and finals games went under last year by a million,
Right.
except for like one. That's been the case for the last 2 years. So I guess we should be going to check those quarterfinal games that were actually on home courts because I
Yeah.
do think those were that is an angle here.
I was actually just checking. I did get that up rather quick, and I was looking to see 114, 109, 108, 100, 118, 104, 91, 90. I mean, I don't have the totals in front of me of those four games, Doug, but
Right.
you know, at least three of
That looks
those,
under. That looks
at least
heavily under.
three of those seem like they were going to be unders for those four games that were at the home sites last year. I like the under. I'm going to go there with the Heat and Magic. And note the start time there, 6 o'clock East. So a little bit different than normal. So 6 o'clock East, 3 o'clock West for that tonight because they're doing the double header. They have two Eastern Conference sites, so they don't want to start too late in Toronto, where we're going to go next. So that is a just after 6 o'clock East tip
Okay.
for the Heat
Orlando,
and the Magic.
Orlando, Milwaukee went over by about 10, 9 and a
Okay.
half. And Dallas Oak City last year went way under
Yeah.
by 8 or 9. So one went over by the same amount, one went under by the same amount.
Right. And the other two were blowout unders, right? New York, Atlanta, and Houston, Golden State were way under
That would
on
be a
those.
logical question.
I mean, I'm just looking at like
No,
91-90 was definitely an under.
yeah.
Houston, Golden
So
State.
108, 208, that went under by 30, and the other went under by 40.
Yeah, so you had a couple unders there for you. And once again, get involved with the chat box there. Look at that. I saw a little 2-0 yesterday from
Ooh.
somebody flashed up. Henry Williams, welcome to game day. Providence versus Brown. Friars, Bears, hoops. Can the Brownies keep it within 30? Already getting into the Brown hoops again here, Doug.
Now this Mayor's Cup tournament. It's obviously Pennsylvania has those
Right.
ancient five or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
Brown took care of Bryant in their last home game. The Pits, you got to be careful going in
Yeah.
there.
It's tough.
They will you don't just stroll in with the crowd of 175 people. Catch an 18 and a half range. I'm not getting involved. Let's put it that. It's at the dunk, by the way. It's at the dunk.
Ooh. Everyone loves the dunk there between Providence and Brown this evening. Next NBA Cup game, second game in the East, just after 8:30 East, will be the Knicks and the Raptors in Toronto. This is now crept up to Knicks -5. I know when I brought it up yesterday to you, it was 4. 226 flat. I got actually up to 226.5 as of this second at Bet Rivers on the app.
Knicks are playing really well and taking care of their business, which has been impressive. The Raptors have not. My Raptors have been limping a little bit of late. Lost 3 straight as well. They lost lost the Hornets too at home by a blowout. I think Quigley's back. I don't know. I would say Knicks or pass here.
I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I feel like it's the Knicks tonight. A little nervous being on the road, but they usually do okay in Toronto. This is the total I probably wouldn't want to go after over the next two nights, Doug. I feel like out of the four of the games, the 226.5 with the Knicks and the Raptors is the one I'm going to just stay away from and not go near.
Just went under with Orlando on Sunday. I was sweating that out at the book while watching NFL. I was the only one with my head all the way looking at like my 3 o'clock, my 3 o'clock, like the corner small TV in the big book. They were up 20, and then the Magic made a run, a lot of fouling, a lot of turn, like this, like Jalen Brunson was getting put back into the game kind of thing, where the game was in hand. And then they thank God, like threes with like 10 seconds ago, they lost by 6, or the Knicks won by 6, but got a little hairy with the live total or the second half total. I think what happens is Brandon Ingram, like he's just not a guy you want on your team. His plus minuses are always terrible. He's a net negative player, even though his points per game is good, and he has flashes where he's just unguardable. I think that's the issue. Like the Brandon Ingram is a guy like good stats, bad player, bad team kind of thing.
Right.
They have guys that are awesome in terms of that. Like Scotty Barnes is a winning player. Jamal Shedd's a winning player off the bench. They have dudes that are really good. Even guys like Pirtle and the long Malashivi or whatever, the guy from the Spurs. But they have other guys you just can't have on the team, and that's, I think, the ultimately gonna do them in.
We do have a special for this game tonight at Bet Rivers. Brunson Burner. Like that. Brunson Burner. Brunson to make 2+ 3-pointers in the first half versus the Raptors. This is boosted from even money to plus 125 there. So actually 3+, I got 3+ there on the screen. So 3+ first half 3-pointers made, boosted to plus 125. I believe it's two on the app, Doug. So I'm gonna go with the app does have 2+ on it, and I think the plus 125 price probably goes more to 2+, I would think.
I can get behind it. I just I wonder if he's gonna be a distributor. I wonder what the game plan is for the Raptors. So I think I would have to research and dig deep on a lot of Raptors, sort of how they defend Brunson, because Brunson's becoming one of those where he's a little bit of a mixed bag just because the Knicks have so many different weapons that I mean, it's great. It's a good thing for New York. It's just tough to bet his props because he could go off and be the foul merchant, which is a very trendy term for him in SGA. But yeah, I can see that. I don't know if I'd run to the window with that one. The first half is getting me.
Yeah, it's tough because I know I brought up Brunson with you last week when they were playing Charlotte or whoever it was, and you're like, the one thing you got to worry about is Cat can go off any night. You have those nights where Cat goes nuts, and that
Right.
kind of makes it difficult to get involved with Brunson sometimes. So there you go. Bet Rivers has you tonight. 2+ first half threes. Their special boosted to plus 125. They also don't forget NBA midweek live profit boost. Log on to Bet Rivers on your app or on betrivers.com and receive an NBA live profit boost upon each login on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. See the app or website for full details. NBA midweek live profit boost. Of course, you got 2 games to use it on tonight and 2 games to use it on tomorrow. Steve, thoughts on OKC to set the wins record? Does Rivers have a future prop for that sort of thing? I could check that quickly, Doug, but
I've looked the last couple days. I don't see it because I do think they're
okay.
going to win it. Oh, hold on, hold on. We
Wait a
do have it.
second.
We
We
do have
do
it. It's
have it. Let's
under. It's actually
see.
got its own title, Thunder Header. Yes, I would definitely bet plus 400. They
Look
are
at
going to
that.
break this record. Over 70.5 minus 107 is also a really good bet.
Yeah, it's I'm trying to find hopefully I'll have to find it here in New York afterwards for myself. But yes, that is good to get involved. You know, they never lose, Doug. It's just it's and like you say, sometimes it's all about do the teams care about this stuff when you get down to it? Like, are they gonna in the middle of February still be like, hey, we want to get to 74? Maybe these guys are young enough that they do. Maybe they want to be able to have that kind of put up on the wall that they got the 74 wins. And if that's the case, they can win any night that they care, right?
And I think in these types of situations, it's the depth. I mean, they're not going to sacrifice anything for their long-term defense of their title.
Right.
Um, but I mean, look, they got Hartenstein out, so injuries will mount. I mean, I hope I'm wrong, but Holmgren probably will get nicked up a little bit here and there. But they went on this run without Jalen Williams to start the year. I mean, he just got back. He's an all-star. So I think this is a banger. I mean, I really think this should be like 2 to 1
And I
tops.
have and I have now found it in New York, so I did find the tab for myself here, so I can get involved if I so choose. Nice job. Plus 400 Thunder to win 74 plus games. So light night in the NBA because we have the NBA Cup, of course, on full display this evening for us. But there is a lot of other basketball, obviously, with the college and everyone.
No,
Trish,
we already covered Providence Brown. We're on to hockey now.
well, that is true. We could probably go straight to the pucks with Providence Brown now already done, but I got to make sure, we got Bucknell Ryder also tonight. So we've got to make sure that we get a few of these other ones involved as well. It is a big night at the Garden, though, Doug, here in New York City, as we have the Jimmy V Classic, of course, a tradition unlike any other, with 2 pretty good games. And the first one tonight will start. Actually, there you go. Where do I got first? We'll start with the first game, Clemson BYU, just after 6:30 East. BYU minus 5.5, 151.5 the total here.
Yeah, this number's come down a little bit, and I agree with the steam. Obviously, all eyes point to the Cougs and AJ. but I think Clemson can kind of hang around here. So no play for me, but I would say be careful falling into the trap of taking the dog here. Sorry, the favorite. I think the dog could be live in a lot of ways.
Yeah, Clemson last week, what was it? Alabama, right? Where they were down and then they rallied in the second half and got that game pretty much tied. And then Alabama pulled away late, but Clemson got the cover in that game. So once again, you're
This
getting
number was 7.5, 8 overnight. So
ooh.
that's a big difference. So right now it's a stay away, but I'd be if it got any lower, I'd probably have to jump the Cougs. But um, I think Clemson plus 7.5, 8 was too much.
The nightcap, of course, is the main event, and that is UConn and Florida. UConn minus 3.5 right now. Totals at 146. Obviously, the story here, Doug, is Tarris Reed, which game time decision, ankle injury, and it is college, so we have to remember you probably won't really know, Doug, till they're walking out on the floor and starting the game. Maybe a couple minutes before, might know, 20, 30 minutes before, but you got to keep your eye on it.
Yeah, I liked UConn here. I'm just getting some apprehension. So the numbers come down. I would agree. I think Reed's unlikely to play, and that's a huge front line of Condon and others for the Gators. But my thing is Danny Hurley is who I would wager on. So I would actually wager on UConn. Um, he's a maniac. Okay, he lost. This is a rematch of last year, the 1-8 game, the round of 32, where they had the lead and they were the live favorite, and then Florida flipped the switch. I think Clayton Jr. went bananas down the stretch. So, and then the Gators went on to win it all. I think UConn has this game circled. I think this is why I liked East Texas A&M on Friday plus the 38.5. It was a sandwich spot. Hurley's a maniac. They'll be ready. The Gators have been a little shaky here. Now, they did go to Cameron Indoor, and you look at it, it's like, oh, they lost by 1, but they were down 12 at half, okay? And Duke had kind of played with their food a little bit. Remember, they got freshmen and Boozer leading the way. It's hard to sort of finish the job, and they got lucky covers when they were up. I mean, they not lucky wins, but they were up like 8, and they covered the 9.5, 10.5 in a couple games. They were due for regression on that. I think my point is the final score is a little misleading, and the Gators going to Cameron Indoor. Again, they flew up to Duke. Now they got to fly up to New York. I think the con could just have the physicality here. Probably UConn first half is probably the best bet, but
Mhm.
uh, I I don't think Reed's going to play, but I think Hurley's the X factor in this. I think his team will treat this like a tournament game.
Yeah, and they do get up whenever they're at the Garden too. It's always an enormous UConn crowd whenever they play at MSG. I think you'll see a lot of that
Yeah, I mean,
tonight.
I'd rather the game be at stores, but Hurley's,
Right.
his family's from Jersey. Like they're gonna be. He's a maniac. Now
He's
the question is if
he
he
is
like the refs and all that, but if he doesn't get under the ref's skin or whatever, I think this is the right side.
1.5 first half for UConn. 1.5 right there.
Mm,
That might be where
now we're talking.
I think I like that out of anything else. Maybe the first half for UConn tonight. Elsewhere, outside of the Jimmy V Classic, some other good ones. A lot of Big Ten action. This one, of course, not Big Ten versus Big Ten, but we do have Villanova going to Ann Arbor to see Michigan tonight. Michigan, of course, 8-0, now up to number 2 in the country. Villanova 7-1, haven't played poorly here. And they are catching, am I getting 16.5 tonight here, Doug? Wow. Now you remember who was at Villanova? It was BYU, the first game of the season. I took Villanova that night in Vegas with a pretty big number against BYU. Man, 16.5 is a lot. 153.5 the total.
Is it though? Would you want to bet against this Michigan team right now?
You know what? They've gotten me twice in that week in Vegas because I went after them with Gonzaga. And didn't we? Who else did we go at? Was it Auburn they played that we
San
went
Diego
after
State,
them?
maybe.
Maybe, yeah. It was one of the other games we tried to go after them.
Honestly, I'd lay it with Michigan. So I think what's happening is the AP polls poking the bear. They didn't get the one seat in the number one ranking last year, and they went out and trucked Rutgers on the road by 41. Okay, they've won 4 straight games by at least 30. So if you want to
Jeez.
jump on in front of that and take Villanova, be my guest. I just think there's got to be better things to do with your money than try to bet against
Yeah.
this Michigan team. And this one's at the Chrysler Center. I actually, I'm betting Michigan.
Yeah, since that Players Festival, the 3 games in Vegas, like you said, they bombed San Diego State, Auburn, and Gonzaga, and then they beat poor Rutgers by 41.
Well, that was right after not being ranked number one. So that
Right.
actually was almost the best bet on the show last week. I was like, they might take it on the little vendetta, if you
Well,
will.
there's Henry. You got
Henry, I
Villanova
feel you, Henry,
17.
but they're loaded and they got an axe to grind with people. So yeah, I like Michigan here until proven otherwise. Look, they had a nail biter against Wake, but I think everyone's got that in the back of their head. Like, no, this team's out for blood, and they're very well coached.
Did see money coming in. I see Henry also said doesn't trust BYU. I think he put on the bottom there. Doesn't trust
Yeah,
BYU tonight in that one. Elsewhere, we do have a couple Big Ten conference games tonight as well. Illinois travels to Columbus to see Ohio State. Illinois -3 road favorite here, 160.5 big total.
I agree with the steam here. I think it's a good spot for the Buckeyes at home here. Illinois off a big win. I agree with the steam here. Now it's getting a little too low. Now, not so much.
Mm.
Um, the Now it's like, okay, it's not. I'm not taking the Illini, but I think it's not enough points to take the home dog. But 5 overnight certainly had my attention.
Yeah, look, Ohio State. They haven't, they've decent start for them at 7-1. They haven't have played as much. They didn't really play anybody yet. Beating Notre Dame doesn't matter much in basketball. Beating they lost to Pitt, which is tough. So they haven't really. This is the first really good test for Ohio State in their season.
And
Indiana,
they need a win. Yeah.
yeah, Indiana is home for Penn State as well. Just after 8:30 East in Bloomington. 2 tutties and a hook, 14.5 for the Hoosiers tonight, 152.5 total.
Football team? This is football
Two,
team laying
two,
this? I
two
mean, we got
tutties.
Zignetti on the call here. I like I like the Hoosiers. I think it's a get right spot. This Penn State team, not good right now. Like a little bit of a misleading 8-1 record. A lot of beating up on bad teams. They lost to the aforementioned Providence Friars by a dozen. I think IU gets on track here. Remember, they lost at home in the Big Ten opener at the barn, and then they come back and got drilled, not drilled, but kind of handled by Louisville, which was the road favorite. They were better. I think this is where they get right against a Penn State team.
Yeah, you look, it's kind of similar to what we just said. I said Ohio State. Like Penn State hasn't played anybody. They've played nobody, and it's such a difference. Whereas Indiana and Illinois, all they've done, Doug, is play heavies to start the year. Top competition, and Penn State and Ohio State really haven't played anybody yet. So it could be a little dose of reality for the Nittany Lions tonight in Bloomington. Other than those games, Doug, there's still some others, but nothing crazy. Man, Kentucky's out of now 5-4, huh? Out of the top 25 as they're home tonight for North Carolina Central. So you have that. What else? We talked about Brown and Providence. That game's actually on TV too, Doug. That's on True TV tonight. The Brown Providence game. Get
Ooh,
that.
well, that's because it's at the dunk. Too bad it's not at the pits where you can get some TV action.
And other than
Although the
that, that's it. There's really not much else of significance on the card.
Well, I mean, look, like again, I picked off a game last week at 38 and a half.
Yeah.
I mean, granted, UConn was involved, but you never know. Last night we had some weird spreads and weird like Dartmouth's at Colorado State today. Um,
Eh,
I mean, there's that. We joked about Incarnate Word in New Orleans yesterday, but that landed one. One.
Yep.
That was funny. Texas did cover, I believe, so that was something that we thought they need to get back on track with Archie Miller. So yeah, there's always angles, and that's the beauty of college basketball. 325 teams or so, and you're going to get, especially in December, right, out of conference games. So yeah, I'm open to any sort of angle, but I don't really see one necessarily.
The Kentucky line's 45. That Kentucky game. 45 for them.
Should
Poor.
we take the dog?
I'm gonna take North Carolina Central tonight, just as like
I
even
mean,
like 40. That's just nuts.
And I told you I laid 67.5 in a women's game the other day.
What about that?
Landed 65.
I mean, you're getting 25.5 in the first half of that game.
They beat they the team they're playing, right?
Yeah.
North Carolina Central beat Carolina University by 48. And then
You know what? Little splash fun. I'm gonna
they
have a little
beat
splash
Toccoa
fun on North
Falls
Carolina Central tonight.
123 to 67.
Go
I
after
don't
this.
know who the Toccoa Falls is.
I'm gonna go after this Pope tonight. I'm
All
gonna
right,
go
they
after
lost
him.
at the Dean Dome by 44. So now they're at Rupp. How about that to start your, season? You get to play at the Dean Dome and at Rupp.
I'll go and I'll have a little fun tonight just because I want to be
Okay.
interested. At 45, I'm going to go North Carolina Central against Kentucky. Hopefully, the backups can late when they're down 50, make a little run to push it underneath the 45 for us in that game. Good night of college hoops here on Betting Weekly Live. Big night on the ice as well. 10 games in the NHL this evening. We got a doubleheader on TNT. And a few other ones as well. Vegas is in the first game of that doubleheader on TNT on the island against the Islanders, as Vegas is looking for the Metro New York sweep. They have already beaten the Devils and the Rangers in the first two stops on this trip. The Islanders, they've actually been playing pretty well, Doug. Now, Ilya Sorokin, 3-0 in his last three starts with a goals against under 2. He was the NHL's first star of the week last week. Islanders have been playing some unders lately, as we have discussed. Vegas, always good for an under. There was 6 yesterday when we looked, 5.5 now. 5.5's tough. But I also actually like the dog here, Doug. I think the Islanders plus 112 at home at UBS. With the way Sorokin's playing right now, I think it's a little live with them here.
So when you look at money lines, baseball as well, and you said, "Hey, there's value here." Like, what would you think it would be for it not to have value? Like plus 100? Like how much value? Plus 105?
Yeah, like even money is. I don't know if I would play it at even money. Even money is. There's really not much, obviously, between even and plus 112. This was 120 earlier today. Plus 120 this morning. Probably liked it a little bit more there, but I'm playing the goalie here, Doug, honestly. This is really just a straight goalie play for me. You got a hot goalie in Sorokin. And, sometimes these trips, whether it's the California trip, the New York City trip, you're playing in all three spots. They've had some fun in New York the last couple nights after beating the Rangers. Take the little train ride out to the island. They've already gotten the first 2 legs. Maybe the Isles also catch Vegas with a little bit of New York City flu over the past couple days. A couple late nights in New York City.
Road weary, like the road takes its toll on you, even if you're winning and you have luxury travel. I think the Islanders probably the right side.
Let's get them. Plus 112 for the Islanders tonight. The second game of the TNT TV doubleheader is the best team in hockey against the worst team in hockey. Avalanche in Nashville against the Predators. Avs are, of course, a big price. I don't mind the puck line here, Doug. I don't mind it. Laid a goal and a half with Colorado. Plus
Preds that
$1.20.
week.
Preds stink. The Preds are awful. They just
I attended a game earlier this year, 2 of them actually. They're struggling.
They're struggling, and listen, they have a team with so much firepower that comes in. They're minus 26 goal differential this year for the Nashville Predators, which is the worst in the NHL. And you have a team coming in that can easily fire it up for 4 or 5 goals. I'm going to go Avalanche puck line tonight, Doug. I don't get too many puck lines in there laying. I usually don't lay too many puck lines.
So puck line versus the total in the over. So you think there's better line value with the puck line?
Well, what do we got for the total? What you want to do one of those regulation totals that we had last week? Regulation total.
No, so you get plus 120. So if you think it could be a 5-1 game or 4-1 game, then obviously, but if it's a high scoring game, they 5-3. I'm just saying. I guess 4-3 is what I'm asking about. Would it be better to bet the over instead of the puck line?
Let's see here. How about Avalanche over 3.5 in regulations minus 103?
Yeah, I like to add the overtime.
Can add the overtime here. Let's add the overtime. What do we get if we add the overtime in? We think these things through. See what we have. Over 3.5 minus 118.
I
Oh,
want your plus 120.
right. Yeah, I'm greedy, Doug. You know that. I
Okay.
look at these things. I'm like, let's.
I love how we go from value in the Islanders game, like scalping a few cents here and there, and then now it's like, oh, I'm
now,
greedy.
now it's now it's
How quickly
really
things
greedy.
change.
Things change fast, Doug. Sometimes they do when we're looking at these. Elsewhere, there's a bunch of other ones tonight. The Devils are in Ottawa. McKinnon hat trick. Steve, if you would like to do that, God bless and good luck. Have fun, man. Those are always fun, betting guys to score hat tricks. It's not easy to do. Not easy to do at all. Devils are in Ottawa. The Sharks are in Philadelphia against the Flyers. Flyers are pretty big favorite at home tonight, minus 182. Nice job by Tampa last night in Toronto with a complete no-show, losing 2-0. And they're playing on a back-to-back in Montreal against the Canadiens. And they're dogs. Canadiens slight favorite, minus 114. The total of flat 6. Kind of upset at the Lightning after last night, Doug. So I kind of just stayed away from their game today. I didn't want to go anywhere near it.
The course, Carver.
Keep away from them. The Ducks are in Pittsburgh against the Penguins. Now, I got a really good price on this morning, I guess, because it's minus 105 now. And the Ducks plus 120 this morning. So down to
Look at
minus
you moving the market.
105.
Look at you moving
I
the
know
market.
that I didn't move it, but I did but I did get it at plus 120 early this morning when I was looking at, because this did jump out to me. I like the Ducks tonight in Pittsburgh against the
Okay.
Penguins.
At the Igloo. Igloo
First game of
2.0.
a long road trip for the Ducks. They're still in first in the Pacific. They've played well. The Penguins have been a little hit or miss. And I would, minus 105 is a little different than plus 120 this morning. But I still think it's Anaheim tonight, Doug. I still like the Ducks on the road.
Yeah. Yeah, I can get behind it. I just want to. I'm more focused on changing the name to the Igloo.
We can do that. We could talk to some people in Pittsburgh and see if we can petition the right people to make sure that we can still call it the Igloo. Carolina and Columbus is a 6.5. Those teams are both in the top 10 of overs this year. So if you think maybe we can get a lot of goals in Carolina, you've got those two teams getting together. Dallas is favored in Winnipeg tonight. Buffalo is in Edmonton. I'm thinking about that over just because they played. Remember, they played a couple of weeks ago in Buffalo, Doug. I know. There's so many hockey games we go through,
Right.
and Buffalo scored like 5 goals, and Edmonton didn't show up in the game and didn't get us the over.
I like revenge angles here, and you have my attention here.
And Buffalo gave up 7 goals to the awful Flames last night. It's the second night of a back-to-back. Maybe another touchdown. Can the Oilers get another touchdown like the Flames did last night? Put a big number. Maybe.
So you have Buffalo coming off a bad loss, which is not
Bad
good.
loss, but they stink. They have awful
They really do.
goaltending. They have bad goaltending too. And the Oilers had such a poor effort in Buffalo a few weeks ago when they were on that road trip. They were so lifeless that night.
What's the Edmonton Gazette saying? The Edmonton newspaper. I always go see with the beat writer if he's getting good quotes on this. This is honestly, this could be my best bet.
The Edmonton Gazette. Oh boy.
So what I do is I go read about it and see if the players are saying the right things.
They should be. How about over? We get a Edmonton over 4.5 goals in regulation at plus 170.
Oh God, is it that really? Is it really that high? I just think
No,
puck line.
I bumped it up. It was 3.5 at minus 130. I bumped it up to
Okay.
4.5. I altered it myself to 4.5.
So this is good handicap. So this is what I want to. So the audience here. So what you do is you go to the newspaper, you look for blogs, but what happens is a lot of times they're writing features or a recent call up, and there's stuff like that. So you find the beat writer, then go search him on Twitter, and then you look at and then I get away with this. So sometimes I DM the beat writer.
Yeah.
And then depending on how much professional courtesy they want to give me, they'll respond, and I'll be like, "Hey, is this a big game given the revenge angle?" And then sometimes you can search sports radio and see what Edmonton sports radio is saying,
Right.
and you can go kind of scour. So this is sort of the researching and the handicapping I get involved with.
Well, we still have a few hours to do that. 9 o'clock East face-off
Then,
in
you know,
Edmonton.
and then obviously, you may not have a betting expert best friends and good friends, but you have friends who know these teams really well. And then, they have families. They're not thinking about the puck line every day.
No.
So I have a friend who's a diehard Sabres fan. I'll text and be like, hey, are the Sabres going to have a chance tonight? Or just something open ended, not mentioning the point spread or the
Right.
money line or anything. And then if he responds and takes the bait, oh, they're going to get killed. And then follow up, be like, hey, so seriously, are they? But you start extracting information, and then you maybe get on a call and just sort of glean wisdom. That's what I do, and then I apply it to the betting market. But you really just want to talk to people who know these teams really well. That's the key.
One guy who I know covers the Oilers on his Twitter account today, Jason Greger, and he had on there in his headline, "The Sabres' pain is looking like it'll reach 15 years without playoffs. Awful for their fans. Oilers need to add to that pain tonight."
Ooh,
So-
ooh.
Oilers need to a middle of December game against a team from the other side, the other conference. We need to add to their pain tonight. Edmonton tonight, Doug. Let's go. Drop a big number on the Buffalo Sabres. Oilers puck line plus 112 is where it's at.
That's what I'm thinking.
A puck line, and you know what? And a small for me, over 4.5 goals in regulation at plus 170. 5 spot for the Oilers. I'm gonna have a little fun with that. I'll go 3/4 on the puck line, Doug, and then the other quarter on the over 4.5 goals in regulation. Do
I
that.
think this is where you got to talk to your hockey buddies, because these revenge angles. That's the beauty of these long regular seasons, right? I
Right.
talked about it. I think yesterday. I've talked about it before. The Thunder have one loss, right?
Yeah.
They lost to Portland. Well, guess what happened the next time they played Portland? They won by 40. Okay. So these motivations off lot, like these are the in-season sort of angles that the math guys will never get behind. They'll never
Right.
sniff out, and they shape the market. So this is where you really can find value.
And yeah, and like you say, this was not 3 months ago. This was within the last couple weeks. They were in Buffalo. It's still kind of fresh in their minds. It was a completely gutless effort by them. They should never lose like they did that night to the Buffalo Sabres. And hopefully somebody let them know that tonight before this game. So there you go. 10 games in the NHL for you this evening. If you like what you see here
Texting
on
now because I
oh,
want to maybe make it my best bet. So that's why
okay, get you're texting the Buffalo side right now? You getting
I'm
in on the Buffalo?
texting a few people. Yeah.
Okay. If you like what you're watching, of course you do here on Betting Weekly Live, make sure that you subscribe to the Betting Weekly Studios channel on YouTube. And while you are there, make sure you check out our other shows, including released earlier today, Betting Weekly Dojo. Nigel Seeley and Neil Channing as they react to the recent upsets in the NFL and look ahead to the FIFA World Cup with some early betting insights. I am way too deep into the World Cup, and it's still 6 months away. I was looking for futures the other night over the weekend, trying to use all just trying to see who I want to take some deep shots with. So I'll have to check out Nigel and Neil. They're on Betting Weekly Dojo for some World Cup futures. All right, NFL time as we now head to Week 15 here in the National Football League. The extra point, a little overarching theme from this past week. And I guess it has to be this, right, Doug? You look around in the AFC right now, Chiefs well on the outside looking in, Ravens on the outside looking in, both in big trouble. Going to have a lot of new faces potentially in this AFC playoff picture.
Isn't it crazy? Who would have thought the Raiders would be a lot? Oh yeah, we all knew that.
No.
It's no, it's. I mean, they talked about it on Sunday Night Football. Just what we thought. They joked the Broncos, Patriots at the top of the AFC playoff picture. So Chiefs and Ravens, right? Two of the favorites coming into the season. They are not in the playoffs right now. Bills are hanging on. They'll probably get there, but still, they're at least hanging on. They're one of the last seeds in the AFC. So I just think and the Bengals, right? That's another team. Obviously, injury playing a big role there, but still, if you look at all these teams, this is not who we expected. The Steelers, remember, were like in first place, 5-1, and they weren't the favorite in their division. Everyone assuming the Ravens would catch them. Well, you know what happens? Mike Tomlin exercises his crazy demons and always wins those voodoo games. And the Chargers, no shock, but the Colts. Remember the Colts were running away with the AFC, and now they're like going to finish in third place behind the Texans and Jags in that AFC South. So I just think new blood, which means things can change come postseason. We don't just have the old reliable Mahomes and some of these other stud quarterbacks. I think the AFC is wide open. Obviously, the top teams are good, but they don't have playoff experience. So maybe these Chargers can make a run as a 5 seed, or even the Texans or things like that. So new blood. We don't just have the annual occurrence of the Bills and Chiefs, or Bills, Ravens, Bengals, all those 4 teams that are interchangeable. It's wide open right now in the AFC.
But one of those teams will be there, and they will have a lot of pressure on them to finally get there now that those other teams you mentioned are out of the way. I feel a lot of those other teams that are normally there with them aren't there. We'll see if the Bills can actually get it done, and have to probably do it on the road throughout as well. Let's start to go for 2, couple games for this week from each of us. We saw the Eagles last night, Doug, of course, in that overtime game against the Chargers. They will now go home. And I guess this is the best scenario you could ever have. You've lost 3 games in a row. Your season's kind of spiraling out of control. Quarterback looks awful, but you're going home, and the Raiders are going to be meeting you there.
It's like a game show. Show them what they've won. A meeting with the Las Vegas Raiders. I think it might be Pickett. I'm not sure. Kenny Two Gloves back in the Keystone State, outdoors, just with the doctor. I think the Eagles have to get right here. Now, I do think it's going to be a long week, even though it's technically a short week. I just think the pain of losing that game, a lot of the media, what's going on with the Eagles, there's a chance that they slug it out with the Raiders, but ultimately this Raiders team's bad, and they're dysfunctional. And it was a horrible spot for the Broncos, and they were still up 17 in the fourth quarter. Okay. If you don't believe me, it was a horrible spot. Look who the Broncos played last week on Sunday Night Football. Went to overtime, emotional ending, and look what the Commanders did the following week. They just laid an egg to the Vikings. Okay. They didn't even show up. So the Broncos winning by 7 or being up 17 is really like being up 35 because they were just running on empty going into the game. So I think the Raiders are awful. They have no offensive line. I'm assuming Jalen Carter is going to be back for Philly. He should be disrupting everything in the trenches. I think this has all the makings of a blowout.
Finished -11 Eagles. Let it fly on Sunday against the Raiders.
And I was on the Raiders last week.
Yes. Thank Pete Carroll at the end of that game, of course. Pete with a lot of questions asked about that.
Even Ant's getting questions yesterday. Yeah, I know.
Kevin Stefanski has said that the Browns will play Shedeur Sanders as the starting quarterback for the rest of the season. Well, what were your other options, Kevin? I mean, honestly, what a great revelation that he's going to start Shedeur for the rest of the season. Well, that next start will be in Chicago this Sunday against the Bears, who are 7.5-point favorites at home.
Yeah, I guess he could sign Vinny Testaverde off the scrap heap, because you see that video with Gruden where he's doing the the hard count.
Yeah.
Vinny still got it, at least in the hard count department. And then grandfathers are getting claimed for the Colts. So who knows? I kind of like the Browns here. I never want to lay points with them, but like last week. But the Bears, that's a big emotional loss. Like, that's a lot of points. I don't think they just come in and this isn't a video game where they just roll the opponent. I think this is a game where it's going to be a one they just want to get through with a W. So I like the Browns here.
I think it's going to be a little like, remember the game they played with the Bengals? Like, it's probably going to be a little zany, a little down to the end, and they're going to win the game, but they're not going to win it by 10, 10 plus. They're going to win the game by 3 or 7 or 6, something like that in those areas. So Bears and Browns this Sunday. First one that caught my eye, and there are a couple good games here, of course, Doug. Amish Electrician checks in. My AFC futures are shot. Well, that will happen if you had a lot of Kansas City and Baltimore at this point. A lot of your AFC futures. Did we really talk about Rivers' return at age 44? Are there really no other options out there? Let's do this real quick, Doug. I'm kind of surprised. Not kind of. I'm very surprised that they're doing this. They're not actually going to play him. I mean, if they're doing this whole thing and bringing him in, and is Riley Leonard that bad that they have to go and get Philip Rivers, who hasn't played in 5 years, off the street to potentially play these last couple of games? Really?
So they asked Matt Ryan, who politely declined. Um, I guess Philip Rivers is a high school football coach. His
Yeah.
son is the quarterback, and they're running the same offense that the Colts have. And he's had periodic conversations with Steichen throughout the season, so he's locked in.
Oh,
Um, I'll try my material here. It went over well on Twitter. You know they play the Seahawks, so this might be the first time Philip Rivers is worried about protection.
oh boy. I mean, this is just I can't believe that this guy's back. And now does he have to now wait to go in the Hall of Fame again now, Doug? Because isn't he one of the finalists or something
So
like that?
if he plays or signs, yeah, it does reset the clock.
Now he's on the practice squad, so technically it doesn't count yet. If he signs to the active roster or plays in the game, I guess that resets. You know what? The Colts are.
A grandfather. How many grandfathers have played in the NFL? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, that's very, very true. I'm surprised. Did they call Brady too? I mean, Brady's going to be offended if they called Matt Ryan and not him. I hope they called Tom as well, although he's an owner now, so I guess he
Yeah.
couldn't. He
Can
couldn't
you be
do
an
that
owner, broadcaster, and player?
for another team. Then aside
Yeah.
from the one that you own, can it be
It'd be a
done?
busy Friday. A lot of team meetings.
This one caught my eye. Packers and Broncos in Denver. One of the really good games this weekend in the 425 East window. Packers are road favorites minus 2.5. But it's the total for me, Doug, 43. I really like the under. I feel like
Mhm.
both defenses are strong. It could be a game kind of like last night, honestly. Like, I feel like it's a game where there's going to be some turnovers, some field goals. 43 seems like a lot for the Packers and the Broncos in Denver.
I think 7 turnovers.
Well, maybe not that
I
many.
well, look, I mean, you had a 50-yard touchdown run last night. You had early scoring, so the live market got a little higher than it did. It is, I don't know. This is a really interesting game because the Broncos keep winning, right? And then they haven't really played good teams. Packers, they finally put it together. But what I guess let me put it this way. How would we look at Green Bay if on fourth down, Caleb Williams actually sees a wide open DJ Moore? Okay. So yeah, they get the win and cover, but like DJ Moore is wide open, and then the Bears were gonna go for two. So I mean, I think Broncos home
Yeah.
is probably the right side, or at least my lean here.
Yeah.
But they've been so shaky. So
Yeah.
shaky. So I'm probably not going to pull the trigger here, but I lean home dog.
Lean home dog with the Broncos and the Packers. The other one for me, and this is just purely the Niners are coming off a bye, the late bye, which Shanahan probably loves with how many guys he had banged up. So you're going to get a pretty
Oh yeah.
healthy Niner team at home off of the Titans, who actually won another game last week. It's 12 and a
Yeah.
half is big.
Against the Browns though.
It was against the Browns. Very fair. But I think that this could be, there's a lot of big spreads this week, and I don't normally like getting into the 12, 13, 14 area. But I think that 12 and a half with the Niners, I feel like they can win this game by more than 2 touchdowns, Doug, against the Titans on Sunday.
It should, and I think you're right. Like I think it's one of those like get right spots for the Niners. They're like back on track. Everything's good. I'll say this, and I've been waiting for because there's awards markets right now at Bet Rivers. They just haven't repopped coaches awards because maybe last night Monday Night Football. I take a look at Shanahan. So he's a little under the radar right now, but you can get around 12, 14 to 1 is when they repost it because right now Vrabel is the leader in the clubhouse, but there's a lot of football left. And if they lose this weekend, that changes things. The NFC West could get a little wonky if the Rams have to play the Seahawks. So if they lose that game, Niners can win out. and that changes everything. And Ben Johnson's going to go away as the Bears struggle. So I think there's a path here for Shanahan, just given the injuries, Purdy being out for a few games, like the narrative will shift, and this is when it starts to shift. So don't worry about the standings today. You're worried about what they're going to be at the end of the season. So you can get 15-1 right now at Bet Rivers.
Mm.
I think you should pull the trigger.
Wow, how about that? Shanahan at 15-1. And I agree with you. These last 4 weeks are when these things get decided. They really do. The narratives show up. They all start to get banging the drum a little bit more, a little bit louder as you come down the stretch.
And look who the Niners close with. Okay,
Yeah,
off the bye, they have the Titans. Right, they're at the Colts. Right, that season's off the rails.
yeah,
Home to the Bears, and then home to the Seahawks, who may sit like who knows, right? They
that
may be
well that
locked in or whatever
that game could be. You never know what
for
that.
the division.
Let's say the Rams lose to the Lions this week, and then the Seattle beats them on Thursday night. That could be for the division. Seattle, San Francisco, that last game of the season. That could be your Sunday night game to end the year.
15-1's worth a pop.
Let's go with Shanny there for Coach of the Year. All right. Well, of course, plenty more NFL this week. Let's get in some college football quickly. Go for two. Two early bowls, sides, totals for this week. Although we'll do a couple. Let's do them quick, Doug. First, for you, Texas and Michigan, which I believe, Doug, is the Cheez-It Bowl. Texas and Michigan, right? Are they doing Cheez-Its? They're not doing Pop-Tarts. They're doing Cheez-Its. -5.5 for the Longhorns.
I've been pretty unimpressed with Michigan this year. They've had some nice wins here and there, but they also played with their food. They beat Purdue 21-16. Purdue, okay? They also struggled with Northwestern. They got dominated by Ohio State, who's very good, obviously. Got manhandled by USC, which the Trojans were off a bye. I think when they step up in class, they get outclassed. I think Texas is not one of these teams that thought they should have been in the playoff like Notre Dame and that there's going to be completely flat. I think Arch and company are going to be ready to build off this for next year. I think too much firepower for the Longhorns, who've played well the last month. I think 5.5 is a really good value play here on New Year's Eve. I think they'll be up for the game. Like you never know, obviously, in these bowl games that aren't playoff games, but I think they'll be ready.
And the other one we mentioned yesterday when we were talking about the college football playoff. I mean, it just smells like points with Miami
Yeah.
and Texas A&M.
Yeah, nothing's changed since yesterday. They didn't all Miami didn't add Warren Sapp to the defensive front. So
No.
I think we're gonna be okay here. But look, I do think the Canes defense is there's some little war of words with an O lineman on the Aggies and stuff, but there's gonna be more war of words between now and kickoff. I think this should be a shootout. And it is a Saturday afternoon game. If it was a Friday night, there's that one Friday night game.
Yeah.
Maybe the weather's a little cold, you never know. But I think Saturday afternoon, ho hum, another Aggie shootout.
For me, and now the hard part with some of these bowl games is, Doug, you really got to try to look in advance. Like, what teams are going to be completely depleted with nobody there by the time they play this bowl game, right? And I kind of, as I'm looking at all the games and I'm going, Penn State feels like a team that could be some real exodus by the time they get to Yankee Stadium on December 27th. So 3.5 now, and it's 3.5 now at Bet Rivers. It could be 7 or 8 or 9 by the time we get to that day, because I feel like Clemson's going to be at least have a good amount of their team. So that's kind of how if this early, Doug, I look at these games, and getting Clemson at that number now might be a lot better than getting them later on.
I could see that. I have not sort of dug deep in what's going to happen with who's sitting out for the Tigers. Dabo, like which buttons is he going to push? Like he's had some trouble motivating his team, although they did close out the year strong. But that was a rivalry game at South Carolina. This Penn State team, I think, won out to become bowl eligible. So give them a lot of credit. But to your point, transfer portal, everything like that, I don't know what to expect. So yeah,
It makes the bowl games so hard now with all this stuff. It
yeah,
just
I mean,
makes it impossible.
I don't want to poo-poo gambling opportunities, but I'll say this, like I've been in bowl pools for years, right? Since I was a kid, frankly. I don't do bowl pools this year or nowadays because you have to enter them all like by like the first Saturday. And I think I bet these on like game day.
Right.
So I wait and I That's just the way it is.
Petey says he thinks it
So
opened Clemson plus 1.5. Penn State was minus 1.5 to start. It's already moved a little bit there. Yeah, I think that for the most part, Doug, you really got to wait for these bowls the day of, sometimes the hour before, to know who's actually going to be playing. If you want to take, it's like almost like betting a future, almost like trying to do something like this right now. Like you're kind of hoping that you're getting the best of the number a couple weeks in advance, but you're not so sure if that's necessarily going to be the case or not. You're just kind of hoping on reports and things like that. Bama was the other one for me. I just don't think Oklahoma's offense is going to beat Bama twice. I really don't. And Bama will be the team everyone bellyached about, shouldn't be here. They'll probably go and win 2 games for all we know. And they'll beat Oklahoma that night, Doug. I feel pretty good about it.
feel pretty good. Yeah, I mean, it is funny. The team, you're right. The team that doesn't deserve to get in always seems to win a game or so. Indiana did not last year, but I think those were all sort of mismatches. This Oklahoma offense is really interesting. They've been so bad since the Mateer. Remember, Mateer was like a Heisman
Yeah.
favorite early in the season, and I was saying just let's pump the brakes here. A lot of football left. Then he hurts his hand, doesn't look good when he comes back for the Red River rivalry, understandably so. But just the last week, I mean, Venables just punts. He's literally just punting and turning it over to his defense. The only thing is Alabama doesn't bully people, and OU has looked good against teams with a good front. And Simpson hasn't looked healthy, but no way I'm laying it with the Sooners. But that over-under seems too high.
40.5 for Alabama and Oklahoma. And that is the Friday night game next Friday.
Alabama's a
December the
really
19th.
slow pace, so their pace is low, and the Sooners is exactly what they want.
Yeah, I don't expect much points, but I do think that Alabama's going to get by them in the rematch. I think that Alabama will beat them the second time through. So there you go. A couple looks at some early college football. We need to do this Pavia thing. We're running out of time. Like we're so on it, but I think it'll still be there tomorrow. We can go a little bit deeper, but I think you should give everyone at least a PSA if it's still up on the board, which it is, to go and get it.
Yeah, this is you got a death wish if you lay the $25. Okay, so the question is Pavia. All the straw polls. I mean, the Athletic just put one out today, and it's like narrow
Yep.
Mendoza with the lead. The Big Ten title game unfolded exactly how it should have been if you want Pavia. It was a rock fight, bad quarterback play. And even I can't believe I'm saying, like, Johnny Manziel said something intelligent, but he goes, really? We're going to award the Heisman because of a go route down the sideline to get a first down?
Yep.
Like, he had one big throw along the sideline. Pavia is a little bit of a loose cannon, like his mom, like with, what's going on there with,
The
like,
brothers.
he's like,
Yeah.
but like they're like go on a date with my mom. Like that's not what the Heisman Trust wants. But
Right.
I think Pavia, and he's a very biased SEC country. He's going to get all the votes there. West Coast, maybe those votes. Like I think Pavia is live here at 10-1. I think it's outrageous what the current odds are.
Pavia's also played so much college football that he's played in every region around the country at this point. So he should have some people that like him almost everywhere. I'm with you. It's Pavia. I still think Pavia is going to win on Saturday night. I think he deserves
I
to
hope
win,
so.
and I think he should
A
win.
lot of big payouts coming if that's the case.
Let's then even more so. Let's hope so. All right, best bet time and the Daily Double on Betting Weekly Live. I was waiting to see if you'd go with the Edmonton information, but that's okay. We do like it, but I'm going to go to the other one that I like too in hockey, and that is the other team total. Colorado over 3.5, including overtime in Nashville tonight. So we'll throw in that just in case it's 3-3 going to the extra session. We will take Colorado over 3.5. It's minus 118. That's my side for the best bet.
I like it. I like it. I'm going to that Michigan game. I don't think the number matters. I think it's either going to be 30 plus or a nail biter, so to speak, like the single digit. So I'll lay it with the Wolverines. They got an axe to grind. They want the number one ranking. I think they still have plenty of. There's no flat spot right now in the schedule. Villanova's good, but I think they're going to be overwhelmed here. I have a lot of sort of like B plus picks, if you will. No A minus or A's. This is the best of the B pluses. So not my favorite. I was close to going Oilers, but I'll go with Michigan here.
Let's do it then. Michigan minus the 17 at home against Villanova with the Avalanche team total, including overtime. Over 3.5 plus 253 to get us back on the horse on the Daily Double here on Betting Weekly Live. All right, Doug, tremendous job. As always, we will see you back here tomorrow, 4 o'clock East, 1 o'clock Pacific, for a Wednesday Betting Weekly Live. We'll have the Western Conference side of the NBA Cup quarterfinals, more pucks, college hoops. I know there's tons of games there as well. And we'll continue to start looking towards the weekend in the football. Betting Weekly Live, of course, Betting Weekly Studios, part of the Bet Rivers Network. Mike Carver, Doug Kezirian, have a great night, and we will see you back here tomorrow.